Good early Wednesday, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now, giving you the latest information on a severe thunderstorm warning in play now until about 2:45 for portions of the Big Bend region here in toward North Florida. You can see some of the heavier really colors indicating some heavier thunderstorm activity here right now toward areas there as we're looking towards some coastal zones. So just continuing to kind of watch this here for you guys. I'm trying to give you guys the very latest details. Let me go ahead and read you this warning here. So the information coming down from the Weather Service in Tallahassee at 1:56. They issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Wakulla and eastern Franklin counties. At 1:55, a severe thunderstorm was located south of Crawfordville there, about 7 miles moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. This warning going until about 2:45 here. And we're talking the reason this was issued here looks to be about 152 and 52-mile-an-hour wind gust was measured there at Panacea. So first time we've had this severe weather potential here really coming into play with at least a warning in the Big Bend going back a while here. So wanted to jump in. I mean, even anywhere in the area, it's been over a month, but out here even a little bit longer with the actual warning popping up. You can see St. Mark's, Crawfordville, at least on the edge of this here. Newport, Alligator Point, Bald Point, Hyde Park, Panacea, Wakulla Airport, Tully, over toward it looks like Panacea, Shell Point, Port Leon, Wakulla Beach here, Spring Creek, and Live Oak Island. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning in play. Officially at about 2:45, and there's a tornado possible tag with this warning. There is some weak rotation, no tornado warning at this point, but there's some weak rotation that we're watching here. It's right there as we're just moving more toward Wakulla Beach than anything. A lot of this is actually in the coastal waters, but the strongest area may still be over land, and that may be headed toward Wakulla Beach here in the next few moments. So we're watching things carefully, just kind of giving you a look at things, some of the areas that we're getting into some of the action earlier on. But now as we kind of get in a little bit tighter, you can see where Panacea is. And that's the area here that we had that gust of wind there as we're looking at things at 152. So let me back this up just a little bit and kind of see it on velocity. Some of the brighter colors around there at that time, they're a little bit brighter then. Getting some more velocity scans, so winds there are almost exactly what we got measured, which isn't really generally going to be the case here because it's going up a little bit of a height, but almost exactly. We had the gust of 52 measured, and my reader's showing 52, 53 coming into town, and then right over town, we're seeing those winds really kind of still be a story, but just north of town, 52 miles an hour on radar, and that's what we got toward the surface here. So that's kind of storyline right now as you see the progression of things. This isn't the most concerning situation, but we've had a scenario. We haven't had severe weather around too much lately. We had that event in October that we were on for all night pretty much. But other than that, I mean, we have to go back even further in the timeline here. So we need folks to take this seriously here. I know it's the holiday travel season at this point, Thanksgiving Eve per se. And not going to be too many folks on the roads, but maybe a few more folks on the roads than we generally have. So our first one we've had in our area in a while. I mean, you have to go back again over a month toward our 62 counties here. I would say, as you're looking at things, you can see our zone. And right now, this warning includes parts of Wakulla and Franklin, not right in the Crawfordville, though, thankfully. But this is to the south here, a little bit maybe more instability, possibly trying to work its way in there compared to other parts of the viewing circle. And you can kind of see that here to a degree. I have to explain it a little because the color table doesn't delineate it too much here, but let me go ahead and pop this on up. You can kind of see here we're looking at about 862 joules per kilogram there, surface-based Cape within this warning here. And looking to the north, though, down in the 700s there in the path, we actually have a little bit higher. So we'll see if this kind of pulses up just a little bit here as folks maybe you're out on the road. Supercell composite is there as we get further to the east. So we'll watch that in a little bit of significant tornado parameter here as well. So let's go ahead and go back to the other view here that we have. This is water vapor here, kind of telling that story. Your infrared satellite kind of showing you some of the action there as we're looking further up at least in the overall pattern. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning. That's where the yellow box is. That's what that encompasses there. A potential for gusts to about 60. We're not really expecting any hail with this. We do have some weak rotation, so this could get upgraded to a tornado warning. We always come on for those. So thunderstorm warnings they play by ear. Sometimes in this area we wouldn't come on, but with this being a situation where we haven't had warnings around in a while, and a tornado possible tag, we're on the side of caution here. So again, severe thunderstorm warning till 2:45. It may get dropped early, but also could get extended because of that instability there right toward the coast. As far as severe threat really would make the most sense right now. So again, we're on standby. I've been on standby here in the Weather Center watching things, and right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning at 2:45. Looking there at Tallahassee right now, you can see some heavier action with the downpours coming on through, coming on in. Nothing severe, no advisories right now. We'll go to a higher resolution and look at this on our other mode. You can kind of see what we're talking about here. You see the lightning we're staying mainly toward the south here, toward Wakulla County, and then that's moving toward Jefferson and Taylor here. So if we get a new warning, that's where that'd probably be right now. It looks like here, as I look at our other mode, it's pretty similar, maybe a little bit weaker in some ways, but still some type of threat possibly. Could get a little bit of wind damage there around Wakulla Beach. So let's keep watching it. Let's keep tracking it here. Again, we're on with our form update a little bit earlier on. We'll have our next form update here until next week since we're off for Thanksgiving. But of course, when further breaks, we're on the air no matter what here, whenever there is that concern that is around. Looking at power outages there right now in Wakulla County, don't see any yet from the poweroutage.us map anyway. So that's some good news. Let me check Talquin here real quick. Let's see if we have anything from them. And don't see anything right now. So that's good news. This is one maybe we won't have to worry about too much here, but I want to on the side of caution too because we saw in Alabama there when we had a thunderstorm warning issue there in southern Alabama on that Tuesday evening. Things escalated there, not really quick, but fairly quickly to a tornado warning and a confirmed tornado. That was really quick from the tornado warning after that was issued, but nonetheless here, we just got to be careful here because this is closer to the coast and a more favorable setup here. Or maybe a quick spin up tornado, weaker tornado, not out of the question here. That's why there was that tornado possible tag in play. So let's go ahead and keep watching things. Again, we had our full update earlier on. We're coming on right now. So a severe thunderstorm warning in play to about 2:45. Let's go ahead and zoom back on out a little bit. Again, you don't see much around Albany here at all. Moultrie, not really a big concern. I know we had that risk in play. It still technically is here till 7 a.m. Really, the yellow area don't need to worry at this point. The green area, which is technically lower, but it's where the storm action still remains. We're not really worrying in the western part. This passes slight risk, but further over, you see we have that yellow box within this. We don't have a full risk past 7 a.m. Can't write a quick warning for somewhere in North Central Florida though, but not a huge threat, but something is not zero there. In terms of that probability. So we'll keep watching, we'll keep tracking. Let's go ahead and pull up here if we can. Do we have any wind speeds here, or are they already on here and they're not really showing up? Okay, they're not on here, so let's go ahead and pull them up because they're not strong enough. The wind gusts, they're not going to show up. But you see some gusts here in the 20 range. We had some gusty winds here at points where you were here in the timeline. And we have a little bit of that here outside the thunderstorm activity. But nothing overwhelming here, so that's some good news. But we did have that gust within the action there to 52 around Panacea before this warning was issued. We talked about how we weren't sure if we'd get a warning here that technically isn't quite severe. 58 is where it would show up as a wind report. Officially, they aren't as severe, but it was getting close enough. They issued a warning. We thought it might stay just sub-severe, but they want to err on the side of caution. And since they're doing that, we're going to do that too here by coming on. It's one of the more marginal probably warnings we've come on for here in a while, but we haven't had many warnings here in the short term as we look back. So got to err on the side of caution. It's 2:12 in the morning, 2:13 now. You can see here on Wakulla Beach, looking at things here with that tornado possible tag. You just never know here. Things don't look that organized, but we did get a gust to 52 miles an hour. So again, that because a few power outages here or there, we're starting to get with this closer to those areas that are more vulnerable here in nature from the aftermath of Idalia. I know situation out there were really, I mean, other than the summertime stuff, which we had quite a bit of afterward, really. But further past that, we didn't get many storm threats here that have really been an issue for that area since Idalia. We actually did have some damage, I believe, going back. Didn't have a warning with that situation last month toward Tallahassee County. I do not recall, but we had a little bit of maybe a vulnerability. I really don't know. Where there was a little bit of additional damage there at one of the grocery stores in Perry, but overall, a situation here where things really haven't been too robust over there since then. So we're gonna have to watch carefully for that area because of what happened back at the end of August. But I know as we kind of continue to look at things right now, we'll continue to give you the latest. I know since we had a form update earlier on, we have a forecast ready, so might as well go ahead and throw that up while we're waiting for the latest from the Weather Service in Tallahassee. So here's the graphics. You can see that rain chance at 60% for today. Now that's going to wrap up here from west to east generally, and by about 5 o'clock it should be pretty much over across the area, down to 10 to 20%. And you see that same chance there for Thanksgiving. Cooler air though, going to be the story. I mean, let's see the temperatures here currently actually across the region if we can. Let's go ahead and go to that broad view again real quick. You can see 70 still right now. It's a tricky forecast because we're going to kind of go down some as we're looking, at some of these temperatures and not really warm back up as we're looking during the day. But that's kind of the storyline here. You're going to have that wind shift here. You can see that prominently on this mode in our system. As we go back there to the forecast, you can see, I mean, it's going to be cool, but average almost for this time of year. And then a little bit more rain there Friday, Saturday right now. Probably won't impact FSU Florida, as we talked about earlier on, but it could impact some high school games Friday night. Well, it's kind of subject to change. They were still a little too early there in that regard with that. So just kind of keep an eye on that there and be ready in case you need your poncho, something like that in high school football. But especially that Saturday evening, that chance to really be dropping at least down to 20% we had on our game day forecast just a little while ago. Of course, as we look at things here in the Weather Center, we were talking about Idalia and some of these vulnerable areas here. And let's go ahead and remind you guys of what happened there in Taylor County back in August. If you weren't with us here on a live update, around an hour ago or so, we were talking about things a little over an hour ago. We were talking about what happened with Idalia there in Taylor County, and this is 1 week after Hurricane Idalia there. You can see that damage. So this accident, at least moving in that direction here, may not be severe, may not be the worst right over Perry, but I mean, a little more vulnerable over there where they got hit the hardest, or at least one of the hardest hit areas there. Roy was in toward Perry. So again, so that thunderstorm warning remaining in effect here. Let's go ahead and go back on over to our other Doppler source. Again, you can see what we're looking at here. On velocity, still some greens and reds, but they don't look as impressive as they did earlier on. But up towards St. Mark's, could be getting some stronger wind. You can see it looks pretty disorganized on reflectivity here, but moving northeast at 30 miles an hour here, the latest, according to Weather Service in Tallahassee. But damage to roof side and trees can't be ruled out here in this scenario. So again, we have to just be continuing to watch here. I wouldn't be surprised if they cancel this out early at this point. I don't really see a lot to reissue further to the east unless they're just really concerned about that vulnerability because of Idalia in some of the areas that haven't been able to fully recover yet. But again, we'll just continue to look at things here. They probably go significant their advisory. I would think that'd be their more likely move here to Weather Service in Tallahassee as this progresses further on over. But obviously not a guarantee as things can pulse up and pulse down here in these type of situations. So again, this is something to kind of keep in mind here as we're looking at the overall situation. Again, they're updating the warnings. They're going to keep it. They're going to cancel Franklin, but they're going to continue here. Wakulla, the sliver of it, not really into Crawfordville so much. Maybe some addresses, but not into town. Is where it was at here in the latest, pushing it further off toward the east here in terms of the center of this. I mean, not actually an expansion or anything like this here going on, but nothing like that. But again, just continue to track this here. This warning officially going into play for another 27 minutes here. So again, it's a thunderstorm warning to 2:45 a.m. Again, we're live on the air right now on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and Twitch to give you guys the very latest here. And let's, while we're on here, you saw that Polygon trim back. Let's read you the data here within this, the text data per se. So at 2:17, it's a thunderstorm was located over St. Mark's, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust there. St. Mark's, Newport, Port Leon, Wakulla Beach, Hyde Park there. You kind of get the idea. So Plum Orchard there. As we're looking at things, that's kind of where we're seeing some of this potential. So again, just gotta be monitoring that here. You just gotta remain alert. A tornado can't be completely ruled out in this scenario either. They're saying tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you were to have a tornado in your area somehow spotted, it'd be kind of hard to set up at night, maybe rain wrap. But if you did, you gotta go into that centermost room there at once. So let's go to the tornado safety tips in case we do get a tornado warning with this. I don't think we're going to as of this current moment, but this is what you need to do here in this type of situation to seek such under that sturdy building. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet or football helmet here. So again, that's just the information in case we get one here with this severe thunderstorm warning. If we get an upgrade, like what happened in Alabama, and ultimately later on confirmed tornado with a debris signature and a sighting. It wasn't really in a populated area, but still, and they said neither, but still, we got to be careful. This is part of our 62 counties and like that. That wasn't there in Alabama, of course, but again, just continuing to give you guys the very latest here. Give you guys the latest updates on exactly what's happening. I know if you're kind of wondering further off toward the east what's going to happen, well, let's go ahead and get some more forecast model information together. It'll take me a moment. But let's go ahead and get this together here as we're looking at things. It's always helpful to kind of pull out the model here and see how things could progress. So let's start it off at 4 a.m. here on our timeline on our other source. I'll keep the warning information up, the little bit of lightning that's showing up, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and say this is the model now, not the current presentation that I'm about to show you here in just a moment. So keep that in mind. It's going to be your forecast model. So here's the forecast model. This is taking you out there. That's at 4 a.m., folks, as we look at things. And then let's kind of progress it from there. This is 5 a.m. here, 10Z. That's the time change that we had a few weeks ago reflected in that. Oh, we're going with a tornado warning now. Okay. I'm a little surprised by this, but they're going to go with a tornado warning now. So glad we're on there. We'll just real quick run through this, and you can see there to progress in North Central Florida, 7, 8 a.m. with some of this. You can see that there, and this is by around the lunch hour. So, but we need to jump over to this right now. This is while we're on the air in case this happened. And the weather service in Tallahassee, now you see the tornado warning. So at 2:21 here, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over St. Mark's. So we need to get folks in the shelter right now. Get a tornado warning in play until 2:45. This is a sneaky situation. This is while we're on the air here, just in case this happened. Now we have a tornado warning here, folks. You need to seek shelter inside that sturdy building. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and protect yourself now from that potential flying debris by putting on that bicycle helmet. So there must have been at least a little bit of tightening here in the velocity. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Honestly, I'm not seeing a lot, but is there any type of potential debris signature? Well, there might be. Maybe that's what they kind of got concerned with. I see a little something there on our other source. So let's go ahead and flip this over for you guys here as we're live right now on all the different platforms. It's our policy to be on. Done this for 4 years now, almost. Every tornado warning here, where we've had a tornado warning storm moving through our 62 counties, and another one right here and right now. We need folks in shelter immediately. We can't take this lightly. Whenever there's a tornado warning input, we can't take it lightly. They're issuing it for a reason there at the National Weather Service in Tallahassee. So again, at 2:21 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over St. Mark's here, folks. So you gotta be in shelter right now in St. Mark's. Again, a possible tornado now here as we're live. We started off with a thunderstorm warning, folks, but now that has been upgraded. We had a new polygon issued, a tornado warning, a possible circulation could be reaching the surface here right now around St. Mark's. Okay, so there is a little bit of something. I don't know if they want to call it debris. I think that might be why they issued this, just in case there's something there. I wanted to go ahead and get folks alerted on their phone, just in case we have an EF0 quick spin up here. That could still be went to 85 even on EF0. So that could still cause some damage, especially mobile homes and the like here. So again, this is our debris tracker. And now, don't look to the bottom as much, but that would probably not be anything on the bottom end, but up here, let me zoom in a little. I think we can put our mouse on here in just a moment if we need to, but let's go ahead and let's do it like this for now, actually. So again, you can kind of see what we're talking about here in a way. If you look around, they found that little green patch there kind of popped up, and I gotta wonder here if that's what they're looking at, because there's honestly not a lot on here, but these greens and reds can be a little far apart on radar, but they could actually be producing occasionally, and then you go by that, but you don't have to go it confirmed in the here and now, just in case. We gotta be careful here. Could be seeing winds. If you have a tornado here, well, I mean, I say 85 would be a high end EF0. You got to be careful here in a way. Let me pull this up. So, in theory, I mean, these situations we could, I would say the max on this would be 100 at the very high end here of this down in this area. So, you got to take shelter. It would be significant if it was there to that level. Don't see that on radar necessarily. Excuse me. Excuse me here. But again, just continuing to give you guys the latest here on this situation. Again, now a tornado warning here. Tornado warning in play. Yeah, a red box in our area. We didn't think it would happen, to be quite honest, after what we were seeing here. It wasn't the most organized. We have this enough shear energy overlapping here for a possible tornado in parts of the viewing circle right now. This would be here around St. Mark's. So zooming in, zooming out a little here at times. This is parts of Wakulla, but not Crawfordville. So that's the good news here. If you're around Crawfordville, this is not for you guys. But on the day, though, before Thanksgiving in the night, we now have a tornado warning here. A tornado warning. A possible circulation could be reaching the surface there and producing damage around St. Mark's here. And so a warning goes to about 2:45 in the morning. Again, parts of Jefferson and Wakulla counties. Again, take those tornado precautions here if you're in this area. So again, that's what the red box is all about. We have St. Mark's here, potentially in the line of concern at this very moment, and really starting to get maybe in the addresses within that a little further, but start to kind of move out of the actual city at this point. So again, just got to be kind of careful with this, obviously. That's why we're on, trying to give you guys the very latest. It's now a tornado warning, folks. Started out with a thunderstorm warning. That's what jumped us on here the air immediately, initially. But we wanted to be here just in case, and didn't think it would happen. I would have leaned against it, but it's been a while since we've had one of these situations in our area, and unfortunately now we have a tornado warning, a red box here in play until about 2:45. The upgrade here per se, two potential tornado genesis having taken place or maybe trying to happen as we speak here in toward this area. So again, the red box here, that's why we're live. We have a tornado warning. Gotta take shelter here, interior room away from windows. Put that football helmet on, a bicycle helmet on to protect yourself. This isn't the most populated part of our area. It was right in we're saying Marks a minute ago. And we'll just keep looking at this. Nothing overly impressive. We had something here. This is less than 1,000 feet up. So if it was even a tornado here that was really doing just a good bit of damage, I wouldn't even just say widespread damage, then you'd probably see it pretty clearly on here. So again, that's good that we're not doing that here right now. There could have been a little something popping in there. It's not definitive one way or the other, I would say, which is good at 1,000 feet. Again, even a weaker tornado probably definitive here if it was really doing more damage than just maybe a tree here, or, I mean, of course, one tree somewhere, though, could still be problematic, but it's right on a home in St. Mark's, I mean, so that's why we got to be here with you. We have a red box in play. Again, a tornado warning to 2:45 this morning. Again, we're live right now on the air to guide you through this. Again, you can see here, this is west of Perry right now, but it can be a possible tornado in the Florida Big Bend. It's not out of the question, at least here. We have some type of circulation trying to reach the surface. So, again, that's where we're live right now, getting you through it. Another 17 minutes, a tornado warning in play. It's been a while since we've had one of these in the Big Bend. But we have it right now here, and that's why we're on the air live, to keep you, your friends, and your family safe and informed here in the middle of the night. I know folks may be getting caught off guard, maybe just getting really woken up here by their phone here and urged to take shelter by the emergency system here. If those alerts are enabled, I know some folks don't have them enabled here, but if you do, the official alerts, and you should have gotten this if you're in that red box here within the tornado warning, which is right there. It's that red box, a possible tornado in this area right now. So, okay, we're just being told a new mesoscale discussion now from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. So let's go ahead and go on over here. They put this little blue area within this circle zone here because they're looking at some things, and they just wanted to mention a brief tornado and a damaging wind gust here possible through about 4 a.m. over parts of the Florida coastal bend, the Big Bend region, but the threat appears too limited in extent there and intensity for a watch. A band is soured with widely scattered embedded thunderstorms extended at it looks like about 2:15 from south central Georgia across Jefferson County and then southwestward there over the Appalachia Bay and the adjoining northeastern Gulf. Ahead of this activity, a small northward narrow and triangular corridor of favorable boundary layer conditions remains, with those Cape values there looking at some of those around 800 to 1,200 joules per kilogram near the coast, but decreasing as we get further north. And while activity over Georgia and in the Florida Panhandle and the Florida-Georgia line should move into some stable area soon and remain disorganized, deeper, stronger convection may persist at near severe levels over near coastal counties such as Taylor, which was hit by Idalia back in August here. I'm adding the part about Idalia and Taylor counties, but specifically, but you see the blue area circle that includes that zone and parts of Dixie County as well. Again, just have to be careful. Eventually, it's going to run into maybe substantially more stable air mass here as it gets further over, but within a small area, favorable shear exists for both supercellular and line-embedded QLCS mesocyclones to form, and soundings depict there 50 knots of effective shear magnitude and even 150 to 250 effective there, joules per kilogram effective of storm relative velocity. As such, a tornado cannot be ruled out, along with locally damaging gusts. So getting real technical there real quick for those really into the meteorology. But again, that red box indicates a tornado warning, and that's in effect for another 14 minutes. Let's get back over a zoom in view here, just so you what's really happening here. You can see, and then I zoom in here. This is where it'd be, right in here, south of US 98, right in here, southeast of Newport. If you can kind of see where I'm zooming, that area of green and red convergence is where we could have a circulation. And if this were to get extended to get into further areas of rural Jefferson and in rural Taylor, probably before maybe by the time I got to Madison, it'd probably be weakening, you would think. Not gonna completely rule it out. I always expect the unexpected here. This is honestly, at this point, maybe one of the lesser impressive type of tornado warning boxes we've seen, but it could be a weak spin. The shear pattern here would really kind of favor that. Even if it's not really showing the winds that strong, the gate could be there enough for a weaker tornado. And you have zero type tornado, and that really does require a tornado warning to be issued, even if the winds are only 65 to 85 miles an hour. So that means we have to go in the air because it's our policy here to keep you guys safe. As so important to get you guys the very latest in these type of scenarios. So yes, the red box is in play. We have a possible tornado right now. It'd be getting there closer at least, but probably still south of, looks like US 98 here, folks. So, again, trying to give you guys the latest on what's going on. Again, we have a thunderstorm warning as well, but a tornado warning is really out in here as we continue to give you guys the latest details on what's going on. Let's put our shear rate product over the last hour. You can kind of see what we're talking about. Some of the progressing with this. Let's go ahead and pop this on up. You can see here we had some of those patterns here. We had some wind enhancement at least in here. Kind of move this down a little bit. And you can kind of see what we're talking about. So at least a little bit of spin enough to prompt a tornado warning. That's what we have it in play here for another 11 minutes. So let's go ahead and zoom back on in here. Southeast of Wakulla right now. Again, you see some of that spin, so that's the yellow area on your screen. This is not a threat for Crawfordville, so that's the good news. And honestly, from Crawfordville, this main area, the line has passed through. Your winds have shifted direction there, so your severe threats will be over around Crawfordville. That's good news for you guys in Crawfordville, Tallahassee. We're the same story. The wind shifted direction here now. We're in that core area, and you see it coming from the north and west instead of coming from the south and west here, and in the south further on off over toward the east. That's the storyline there. You can see your current temperatures here on the map. As we're looking at things right now, you can kind of see what we're down with. As we're watching things, as we're tracking them here, as we try to give you guys the very latest here. In the middle of the night, 2:35 a.m. So, again, let's go ahead and keep watching things, keep tracking things. Again, it's even cooler further back. And Thanksgiving travel here across the country, you see 20s and 30s in the Midwest. Pretty chilly out there, teens in parts of Colorado. Even some tropical model data showing up out in the Pacific. So, interesting that some hints of tropical development are there. But the red box, the only one in the country right now, include parts of Jefferson and Wakulla counties within our 62 counties. Our 62 counties under the gun right now. So, again, you can see Jefferson and Wakulla. Again, let's get back on over here for a moment. And then let's zoom back out. Look at the rainfall over the last hour. You can see some of those areas a half inch or so. They need rain out. Some of these spots here still, but so it's not all a bad thing. We just don't want the severe weather side, the tornado side, the damage and wind gust side, the lightning side of things. But half inch of rain there, and some of those darker blues here. The lighter blues getting closer to 3/4 or even an inch there. All precipitation in the last hour. But right now we have a tornado warning in the middle of the night. We had first a severe thunderstorm warning issue with a tornado possible tag. Didn't have a lot with it, but it was enough to get us on the air because we hadn't had a warning in a while really within our area. But then things escalated, the circulation spun up just enough. It doesn't take a lot in this situation to produce a weaker tornado, though. Winds are there for the spin, but they're not really there for higher end tornadoes. But within our area, so we have to be with you guys right now as we're looking at things. It's the south of Tallahassee, and not too many folks from FSU probably venturing down here to go home, but I guess it's always possible somebody could be on the road down here, maybe taking a scenic route home for Thanksgiving, and you just gotta be careful, like everybody else has to be careful down here, but somebody in theory may be taking a little bit of a different route, and I mean, it's a scenario here where you could be having some issues there at this point in the night. Same thing if you're headed home from FAMU or TCC, obviously. So, again, just be very careful here as you're looking at things right now. So, again, that Thanksgiving holiday period there getting underway, and we got tornado warning, but it's going to clear out for Thanksgiving as we talked about earlier on. That's the good news here with the overall storyline Again, we're live with you right now. Again, this tornado warning go for another 8 minutes or so. Again, trying to give you guys the very latest to protect you, your friends, and your families. So, again, the red box still on the screen. Nothing's been confirmed officially. Might have seen a little bit of debris signature, but it wasn't really clear. It wasn't definitive enough for them to upgrade to a confirmed tornado warning, a confirmed tornado warning. But we'll just have to continue to watch things here in the weather center. Again, past 7 a.m. We talked about this earlier. That's where your thunderstorm risk is. Can't get a little out of warning, but chances aren't that high here. Again, chances aren't that much higher out of the west. But they were high enough to get this red box on the screen and get folks taking shelter. That's what I have to do with you guys right now to guide you through it. Again, let's go ahead and get back on over here right now. You can see we have some greens and reds here. They're just north really of US 98 now. Where they're trying to come together. This west there of State Road 59, based on the latest scan here over the last few seconds. So just getting into Jefferson County, I would say, right there near that line is where we could have this possible tornado here. Could be occurring here at this point of the night. Okay, they're going to expire the severe thunderstorm warning coming up. They're telling us it's the worst. This is already getting out of that box. The tornado warning is still a little bit of this hanging on within the box. It goes a little bit further to the east, but it's severe thunderstorm warning officially. They're expiring. I mean, it goes until 2:45 anyway. It's just going to go away then versus if they canceled it, it would drop off here in terms of it not being in play anymore, but it will still drop the screen off the screen here. That's the way it should be set up still. Yeah, just dropped them up for other source. So there you go. You can see that gone. The tornado warning has not gone away. And that's why we got to stick with you guys right now. Your red box within parts of our covered area. So, again, just an interesting situation here. These nocturnal hours. Let's see if we have any comments, questions from the viewers here at home that may be watching, maybe from the tornado safe spot even. See if you guys have anything for me. I don't see anything at this moment. But again, we'll keep on checking here. Again, we have this red box here in play. You see the temperature's already falling further back to the west. You see 63 now. 4 hours ago, we were at 71 there around Bainbridge. So seeing that progressing there. Temperatures that drop there, that core air mass coming in time for Thanksgiving. So again, let's go ahead and go on over to some other modes here real quick in terms of our graphics, and just reminding you guys of that 7-day here. Since we did have that earlier in our foam update, let's go ahead and flip that back up here again. You can see 60% chance of rain today, but again, that's going to end here. You already saw it in the western counties, in north central Florida, northeast Florida. That chance here, at least to be out of here by the evening commute time. So that's the good news as you're looking at the typical evening commute time here. And of course, more trouble for Thanksgiving now, like what we're seeing maybe as we're looking ahead during the day even. You see 64, so cool air as we talked about coming on in. I mean, we're warmer right now in some of our counties here than we'll probably be here over the next 7 days at any point. So it's not gonna be like a freeze per se though. So don't get me wrong, it's not that strong of a system. We're not going, which sometimes can happen, could happen later on in the year or January. We could have really just go from the warmer temperatures to freezing. We're not quite to that type of dramatic transition here. But again, looking back right now, we have a tornado warning, a red box here on the board. Again, gotta take those sort of precautions here right now. Okay, they're expiring the tornado warning. Okay, so it just went away on this short. It's technically going to stay in play for another 4 minutes, but I think the threat here not as significant maybe. Let's go ahead and read what they said here. So, okay, so they're expiring this on out. Just trying to get the expiration statement here. Don't see it quite yet. Let me see if it popped up in another system here real quick. Get the wording that they used. Okay, at 2:41. They said the storm was prompted to warning has weakened below severe limits and no longer appears capable of producing a tornado. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. But to report severe weather, contact your local, your nearest law enforcement agency that will relay your report to the National Weather Service in Tallahassee. So keep that in mind. So again, the red box there off the screen, but technically it still goes for another 3 minutes. We still got a little bit of a spin. It's weaker, obviously, though, with this. A little bit of a kind of a sea shape here with this. So we'll watch it in Southern Jefferson. We'll watch some of this stuff down here as well to make sure it doesn't kind of spin up on us here as we're kind of looking at things. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go to the broad view here. I want to go back to our modeling real quick. We kind of were in a hurry with that earlier on because we had the tornado warning pop up, so we had to jump away from the forecast. But let's kind of go through this again if you're still sticking with me here. So let's kind of start off around 5 a.m. or so with this as we kind of look at the progression. You can see here that's 5 a.m. Some storms maybe over toward parts of Suwannee County. Areas there getting closer toward areas of southeast Georgia. And you can see that 6 a.m., 7 a.m. You can see maybe Union County around Lake Butler, maybe at 7 a.m., maybe a strong storm. So our chance is not officially in play there as we get further east, but can't completely write a quick warning. You see 8 a.m. there. That's what we're expecting. 9 a.m. Again, at least strong storms. That's probably going to be the main story. We get a little bit more in the way here of stronger storms here, and that might be the peak on this here. There's some lightning gusting into about 40 or 50 versus actual warnings we have to jump in. But again, you can see here in 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon, 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You see how things kind of fade away. I mean, really how bad it's up again. I mean, Fargo, that's 1 o'clock. It gets out of any threat, really, probably, of severe weather is done after 1 o'clock. I mean, it's a low-end threat, technically not even officially on the board here as we get further east. But we'll make sure, just in case I remember situations in the past where it get a little quick spin. I mean, that's pretty much what it's had now. I mean, it wasn't all that well organized here, but there were some different things, maybe some debris right there around St. Mark's. It was not very clear. If it was something, it was weak, probably. But again, could have had a quick tornado touchdown there. So again, just continue to give you guys the latest here. Warning officially going away right now at 2:45. So that's good. That's good news here. As we're with you, this very late hour, the wee hour to the night here at this point at 2:45 a.m. here in the Eastern Time Zone. Again, we saw a policy be on for every tornado warning storm within our 62 counties. Just looking at things here across the region. I mean, we've been doing this for almost 4 years now. In fact, it seems like it's been a pretty long period of time with COVID in there and everything. But honestly, just thinking back on it here, and now that the warning's gone, we don't have any local warnings. I want to be careful not to go into this when we have local warnings. But now that we're out of this, I want to talk a little about college football. And I remember doing, I think, our first severe weather coverage, a part of that 62 county rule that we had back in. We had the potential where we would go on from late October on, but didn't have any till December. That was when FSU quarterback T. Rodemaker committed here to the Seminoles, and now he's going to get his first really big-time start here on Saturday after the tragic injury that you guys probably heard about. Talked about earlier there with Jordan Travis. Our thoughts and prayers remain with him. It's terrible to see a senior day end like that, but just going back here, I mean, that's how long Tate Rodemaker's really been with the team. I mean, that's almost 4 years since before COVID here in terms of just being committed at least. That kind of tells the storyline there. So hopefully that experience will pay off as we're looking at things there. With that big showdown for the Seminoles, obviously, FSU alum here. So again, going down to Alachua County there. They're 5-6 this year, and they're just looking for getting to that official mark to reach bowl eligibility. But again, a different story here for my Seminoles trying to get in that college football playoff for the first time in almost a decade, the last 14 playoff before it expands to 12 teams here next year. So let's pull this up real quick here, the weather forecast for that. If you guys are staying tuned here, again, partly cloudy, bit breezy there, upper 50s. So the weather shouldn't be too crazy. Gators actually be a little more used to it maybe because they played in cooler conditions at Missouri the other night. So just something for FSU to be prepared for. It'll be loud there, I'm sure. as well. I know we have many Gator fans that watch here, and just Roy hadn't been there a year, but their offense is great. Even without Graham Mertz, he's been great. But that backup quarterback that they have there coming into play, as we're looking at things here, he was Roy Electric in that environment. As we're looking back there on Saturday at Missouri, he was Roy on top of things, and he looked like he could really be a dual threat there possibly. It's kind of tough to tell for sure because you're not seeing that much. But Max Brown there, Roy could be someone there that Roy could give up issue some trouble. So again, we had the warning expire, so that's why we were able to talk about this again while we're on with this cut in. So that's the good news. We're about to wrap it up here, unless we get a new warning, which again we're past the official expiration times anyway. But it's not like cancellation. The expiration statements here. Technically, that's how you describe it. But again, there's a look in the area. No warnings except for the marine warning, which is for the coastal waters here. So let's look and see what they have on the numbers for the wind down there. Again, could have what they would call severe thunderstorms over the water. So something to keep an eye on. Water spouts can form quickly and capsize boats there as well. So damaged vessels create suddenly higher waves. So make sure all on board are in a secure location. They're saying in the weather service in Tallahassee and wearing life jackets there. Expect wind gusts in excess of 34 knots. Suddenly higher waves, frequent lightning, and heavy downpour. Make sure all on board are wearing life jackets. So important in these type of situations there. Weather service emphasizing that as we're looking there in toward that area there off the coast. As we go ahead and get down here with the Doppler and some wind, shift there really going on. I don't want to say enhancement even though, because it's not a lot. But it wouldn't take a lot because we saw the tornado warning earlier on to get enough gate to gate, because the colors don't have to be as bright in this situation that possibly actually come together enough to produce a possible tornado. So we'll keep watching. We'll keep tracking here, folks. If we have more warnings, we'll let you guys know. We'll let you guys know here in this type of scenario. Hopefully we don't, but if we do, we'll be on top of it here. If we have more warnings, at least post them with their severe thunderstorm warnings. As we go back to the main overview here, with the tornado warnings, we'll be on for sure. We'll be on for sure on the different platforms: Facebook, KC Cloud WX, Cloud Weather, Twitter, which is also called X there at Cloud KC, YouTube at Cloud Weather, Twitch Cloud Weather. But a tornado warning, that's our priority. If it's thunderstorm warning, we'll still post about though. If we're not coming on, which we very well could come on for, like we did initially with this before it got upgraded to a tornado warning, we'll just be posting though. If we don't have to actually do the live stream. There, the information on the warning and our radar screenshot there. Facebook, KC Cloud X, Cloud Weather there, and then Twitter, again, also called X there, Cloud KC. So keep it tuned for the latest. We'll be watching things, we'll be tracking. Stay safe on the roads. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back here again as needed. But if we don't have to come back before next week, we'll see you guys then. Just stay safe out there as you're looking at things here across 62 counties, or if you're coming across here. As somebody visiting, but you could also be watching me from our area across the country. Just keep it, Roy, in a situation here where you're safe. As you see, a little more lightning there popping up right now, actually a little bit further north near I-10, but again, no local warning. That's the good news here at this point.